3I Atlas, a third ever interstellar object observed from Earth, currently racing through our solar system now. Astronomers
In July 2025,
the James Webb Space Telescope locks onto something that shouldn't exist. Its name, 3I Atlas, the third interstellar object ever detected entering our solar system. What astronomers discovered next has been called an absolute catastrophe for everything we thought we knew about space. Because this thing isn't behaving like a rock. It's behaving like it's alive. When Webb's infrared sensors first analyzed 3I Atlas, scientists expected another wandering asteroid drifting through the cosmic void. Instead, they found something glowing with impossible intensity, pulsing with rhythmic precision, and broadcasting signals that defy every natural explanation. What unfolded became the most terrifying astronomical discovery in human history. The moment 3I Atlas appeared in July 2025, alarm bells should have been ringing. Ground-based telescopes recorded brightness levels 3 times more intense than any object of its size should produce. But here's where it gets disturbing. There was no comet tail, no streaming ice particles, no dust cloud. Just pure, concentrated luminosity emanating from its core. When the James Webb Space Telescope trained its cutting-edge infrared instruments on this mysterious visitor, the readings were absolutely baffling. Instead of random thermal scatter, Webb detected a concentrated heat signature pulsing from the center. These weren't erratic fluctuations. They were steady, rhythmic, controlled, like watching the heartbeat of something mechanical buried inside a metallic shell. Independent research teams across the globe scrambled to verify the data. The Hubble Space Telescope archives were examined. European Southern Observatory images were analyzed. Every single source confirmed the same horrifying conclusion. 3I Atlas was glowing long before solar heating could possibly activate any frozen materials. Its stability was unprecedented. A perfect 6-hour rotation with 0 irregularities. To planetary scientists accustomed to messy, unpredictable comets, 3I Atlas looked engineered, smooth, deliberate, precise as clockwork. Behind closed laboratory doors, scientists began whispering the word nobody wanted to say out loud. Artificial. But the nightmare was just beginning. The James Webb Space Telescope was designed to peer into the earliest epochs of cosmic history. When its sophisticated instruments locked onto 3I Atlas, they recorded something that sent shockwaves through the entire mission team. A thermal rhythm. Every 4 hours, the object's infrared signature swelled and receded in a cycle so mathematically precise it defied natural explanation. Dr. Lena Maravich, one of Webb's senior instrument scientists, immediately suspected calibration malfunction. She ran triple checks on every sensor. The result, identical every single time. 3I and Atlas was releasing controlled thermal waves as though some internal mechanism was actively generating and regulating energy output. No known natural astrophysical process could produce this signature. The timing was too exact. Even radioactive decay produces irregular, messy signals. But 3I Atlas? Pure clockwork precision. Teams at the European Southern Observatory and the Very Large Telescope in Chile confirmed the 4-hour cycle independently. Hubble's optical imaging detected brightness fluctuations that aligned perfectly with Webb's thermal readings. A terrifying pattern emerged. Every single pulse coincided with micro-adjustments in the object's velocity. Each thermal burst produced measurable thrust. In other words, 3I Atlas wasn't just radiating heat passively. It was steering itself through space. The realization was devastating because it introduced one concept that natural objects never possess: intent. Natural bodies follow gravitational trajectories. Machines make choices. If 3I Atlas was choosing its path, then someone or something designed it, built it, launched it across interstellar space with a purpose. As radio telescopes around the planet joined the investigation, the nightmare escalated beyond comprehension. Shortly after Webb confirmed those thermal pulses, Radio astronomy facilities across Earth turned their massive dishes toward 3i Atlas. The Allen Telescope Array in California detected something that made every scientist monitoring the feed stop breathing, a faint narrowband pulse repeating every 4 hours, exactly synchronized with the thermal heartbeat Webb had recorded. South Africa's Meerkat Array and Europe's Effelsberg Radio Telescope independently verified the signal. Each facility confirmed identical results, a pattern too clean, too consistent to be random cosmic static. Fourier analysis revealed something even more disturbing, a carrier wave hidden beneath the noise, steady enough to function as a transmission channel. The precision was absolutely unnerving, as if someone had left a beacon running, locked to an internal chronometer. What rattled researchers wasn't just the signal's existence, it was the consistency across hemispheres. Observatories separated by half the planet picked up the identical beat. While official astronomical bodies cautioned against premature conclusions, whispers of deliberate communication began circulating. Was this a broadcast? A status ping from autonomous machinery? Or was the signal a byproduct of alien engineering we couldn't decipher? One fact became impossible to deny. This interstellar visitor wasn't silent. It was talking, and then came the event that changed everything. August 14, 2025, the James Webb Space Telescope recorded 3i Atlas, suddenly brightening by nearly 40% in less than 1 hour. But this flare wasn't chaotic. It rose smoothly, peaked, then settled into a new baseline, like watching a system power up. The true shock arrived when orbital tracking data from the European Space Agency revealed something terrifying. 3i Atlas's trajectory no longer matched gravitational predictions. It had bent inward, closer to the solar system's ecliptic plane, and the timing of the brightness flare and trajectory modification were perfectly correlated. This wasn't coincidence. Something inside 3i Atlas had fired, creating measurable thrust across millions of kilometers of space. An interstellar object had executed what looked exactly like a propulsive maneuver. Internet forums erupted with terrified speculation. Was it repositioning itself? Testing propulsion systems? Or actively targeting something? Because if it could steer, it could choose destinations. NASA and ESA released carefully worded statements while quietly tripling observation schedules. But in research laboratories, nobody harbored doubts anymore. 3i Atlas was something far more deliberate, something with capability. When Webb's spectrograph teams analyzed its composition, the nightmare deepened impossibly further. Spectrographic teams at Johns Hopkins and ESA began intensive analysis of new data from Webb's NARSpec instrument. What they uncovered sent absolute shockwaves through the astrophysics community. The spectral signature of 3i Atlas bore no resemblance to any comet or asteroid humanity has ever studied. Yes, traces of carbon dioxide and water vapor were present, but layered on top were spectral fingerprints of exotic metallic alloys, combinations of nickel, cobalt, and rare earth elements that on Earth only exist in advanced manufacturing. More disturbing, absorption lines that couldn't be matched to any known element. Several features aligned with theoretical quantum materials described in cutting-edge physics papers but never synthesized in any laboratory. Substances designed to channel energy with near-zero resistance. Dr. Carrie Lise, leading the Johns Hopkins team, summarized the findings in a leaked memo. We are either witnessing entirely unknown cosmic chemistry, or this object is engineered. That single sentence ignited debates far beyond academic circles. Media outlets began speculating about alien machinery. Government agencies classified raw data. If 3i Atlas carried manufactured metals, it meant someone possessed technology operating on cosmic scales, and that raised one absolutely terrifying question. Why was it here? The next discovery made that question exponentially harder to ignore. In late August 2025, the SETI Working Group, coordinating with NASA and ESA, drafted a mathematical transmission. Prime numbers, mathematical constants, the periodic table, a universal language designed to be recognizable to any intelligent receiver. After intense debate, the message was broadcast using one of Earth's most powerful radio arrays aimed directly at the object. For 72 hours, nothing happened. Then, at the exact timestamp corresponding to the light travel time of the original transmission, something extraordinary occurred. A narrow band pulse arrived. Weak, distorted, but unmistakably synchronized with Earth's outgoing signal. The cadence mirrored our broadcast as if 3i Atlas had received and answered. The Allen Telescope array confirmed the reply. Meerkat in South Africa detected it. Even China's FAST telescope picked up the faint echo. The pattern was too precise to dismiss. It was locked to Earth's transmission, a return handshake from deep space. Government reactions were swift. Data pipelines were rerouted to classified channels. Access was restricted. Official statements described the anomaly as under investigation, but behind closed doors, the tone was pure panic. The mathematics told an inescapable story. If it was transmitting deliberately, that meant awareness. If it was echoing Earth's broadcast, that meant it was listening, responding. Humanity had just crossed a threshold it could never step back from. Before researchers could process this, Webb captured another violent anomaly. September 2, 2025, the James Webb Space Telescope detected another flare from 3i Atlas. This one was catastrophically more violent. In less than 20 minutes, the object's brightness surged by nearly 70%, flooding detectors with unprecedented energy levels. This energy release was concentrated, directed, controlled. Something had activated. A system buried inside, powering itself up with deliberate intent. Even more disturbing, orbital calculations revealed that immediately following the flare, 3i Atlas's trajectory shifted again. More dramatically this time. The object aligned itself more precisely with the plane of the solar system, as if settling into a deliberate orbit. Radio observatories recorded corresponding emissions. The familiar 4-hour pulse spiked in perfect tandem with the thermal flare. Heat signature, visible light, and radio emission all locked together. Scientists began framing the situation in stark terms. 3i Atlas wasn't passive, it was active. Something inside had powered on. For planetary defense officers, the fundamental question shifted from, "What is it?" to, "What does it want?" Because a machine that can flare, steer, and pulse on command isn't just passing through. It's participating with purpose. When Webb conducted deep scans after the September flare, the findings threw researchers into complete disbelief. Buried within the absorption spectrum were fingerprints of alloys never observed in nature. Peaks matched rare Earth elements like terbium and neodymium, materials used exclusively in advanced electronics here on Earth. Several features aligned with theoretical quantum materials never successfully synthesized in practice. Dr. Lena Maravich described it bluntly. "This is not cosmic chemistry. These are engineered signatures." Then came the detail that made everything more terrifying. Those metallic spectral lines weren't static. Over multiple observations, the peaks shifted in rhythmic patterns, as if layers of material were reconfiguring in a controlled cycle. The pattern didn't resemble random rotation. It resembled modulation, the deliberate shaping of a signal. Behind closed doors, classified defense briefings categorized 3i Atlas as an active technological unknown. Humanity wasn't observing a rock. We were looking at the outer shell of a machine. Just as researchers processed this, Webb recorded something that defied everything they understood. The object's steady heartbeat signal was changing. Initially, scientists believed they had decoded the thermal heartbeat. Every 4 hours, perfectly steady, predictable. Then, in late August, the rhythm shifted without warning. The pulse interval shortened to 3 hours 56 minutes, then 3 hours 52. Within 3 days, it had accelerated by nearly 5 minutes. The object was actively adjusting its own internal processes. No natural comet has ever demonstrated this capability. Radio telescopes confirmed the shift. Thermal emission and radio signals moved in perfect lockstep, tightening in unison like instruments playing at an accelerating tempo. Something inside 3I Atlas wasn't just radiating heat, it was adapting, responding, changing its operational pace with clear purpose. Whistleblowers claimed the new rhythm matched a response delay of exactly 72 hours, the precise time elapsed between humanity's transmission and Atlas's modified pulse pattern. To some, this was the first proof that the object was actively listening to us, analyzing our communications, responding in kind. As scientists debated, Webb captured a final escalation. The pulse wasn't just accelerating, it was getting dramatically more powerful. September 3, 2025. 2.17 UTC, the core of 3I Atlas, erupted in a sudden flare so catastrophically intense it temporarily overwhelmed the telescope's sensors. For nearly 6 minutes, the object outshone neighboring stars, radiating energy at a scale no natural rock could ever produce. But the light was only half the story. Teams at ESA and NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory noticed something that sent emergency protocols into immediate activation. The object's trajectory shifted, not by gravitational influence, by sudden, deliberate deviation. 3I Atlas bent closer to the plane of the solar system with the same precision as a spacecraft executing a calculated burn. The timing of the flare and course correction were identical. This was a maneuver. Controlled, calculated, intentional. Inside NASA headquarters, emergency protocols snapped into place. The Planetary Defense Coordination Office classified 3I Atlas as a technological unknown of potential strategic concern. Briefings escalated to